Mr. Obama is set to name his national security team this week, and let's take a look at what seem to be his nominees. Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, Defense Secretary Robert Gates to stay on at the Pentagon, and former Marine Commandant James Jones as National Security Advisor. Senator Graham, you were very critical of Obama during the campaign. You said that he has, quote, terrible judgment about Iraq and sitting down with foreign terrorists, and you also said this: I would dread the day that Senator Obama took the oath and became commander-in-chief. Senator, after seeing what appears to be his national security team, do you want to revise that opinion?
Yeah, I think what I need to do now as someone who fought hard against President-elect Obama and lost is do everything I can to help him be a good commander-in-chief. As to the picks, Secretary Gates is a great choice. He led us through some difficult times in Iraq, and if Iraq had become a failed state, we would be talking about a lot more on this show than just Pakistan and India. Would be talking about a region in chaos. So Gates understands the need for the surge. He understood how it worked, and I think he's a great choice. Jim Jones, known him for a long time, former NATO commander. He opposed the surge early on, but he's a four-star general with a lot of national security knowledge. Senator Clinton is a friend, is known throughout the world, very smart. A little harder line than Senator Obama took during the campaign. The one thing I would say to President-elect Obama, you've got great people around you, but listen to General Petraeus.
Who, of course, was the architect of the surge and now is the CENTCOM commander. Senator McCaskill, back in 2007, you were very critical of Defense Secretary Gates as he began to surge troops into Iraq. Why is he now the right man to pull troops out of Iraq?
Well, first of all, the SOFA agreement that has been executed.
Yeah, we should say that's the status of forces agreement that allows U.S. troops to stay in Iraq.
Exactly. But the important part about that SOFA agreement is that it embraces the kind of timetable that Barack Obama made a foundation of his campaign. And let me say this about Secretary Gates. Even though there may have been times I disagreed with him, and maybe Barack Obama disagreed with him, this is a man who clearly holds the highest level of the military accountable for mistakes, which has been very impressive to all of us. He has solid relationships on both sides of the aisle. And what these picks say about Barack Obama is that the kind of change that he's embracing is that you don't just pick the people who were on your side during a campaign, you pick the best you can find. That's an important change for Washington. In the old days, only the people who supported the winning candidate were ever selected for important members of the cabinet. Clearly, what he is showing America is he wants the best and the brightest, and he doesn't care about their political stripes.
But Senator McCaskill, are you concerned? Because Bob Gates has been very open about the fact, and yes, the status of forces agreement says that all the troops have to be out by 2011, but Mr. Obama's timetable is much quicker than that. It's in middle of 2010, and he wants a firm deadline for pulling them out. Bob Gates has talked about doing it based on conditions. Are you satisfied that Secretary Gates will follow Barack Obama's orders?
Absolutely. And by the way, the SOFA agreement says also that the troops need to be out of major populated areas in 2009. So this is really quite an agreement from an administration that had steadfastly maintained that no timetable was ever going to be put in place. This is clearly a timetable. The Iraqi people have demanded it. The Iraqi government has accepted it, and we have accepted it. And now we've got to execute it, and we all have confidence that if Senator Obama names Secretary Gates this week, that he is the man that has the confidence of the military and can execute it well.
Looking at it from the other point of view, Senator Graham, are you convinced that Bob Gates will follow orders, and how do you understand? Why would he agree to execute a timetable that he has opposed for years?
Well, it's my hope that by picking Gates, that President-elect Obama understands that you have someone who who has seen Iraq through difficult times. And quite frankly, the campaign is over, but we would not have this agreement without the surge. In January 2007, Iraq was in chaos. It was the addition of troops called the surge over time that brought about political stability that has allowed
I know, but I'm talking about the next year and a half.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I think President-elect Obama has seen in Secretary Gates someone who allowed the commanders to come up with a new strategy to get us to stability. The goal is to leave where we're more secure, not less. And I am hopeful by picking Secretary Gates that he will listen to him, Petraeus, and Odinero as to how we get out of Iraq. We've got an agreement that says 2011. There's a likelihood we'll renegotiate to have some footprint past 2011. Even President-elect Obama mentioned that.
So you see it
picking him and listening are two different things. I hope the pick is an acknowledgement that the man that he picked saved Iraq from chaos, and he will listen to this man and his team as he tries to get us out of Iraq.
So you're suggesting that the pick of Gates might mean that, that Obama would reconsider his deadline?
Well, the point, I think it means he acknowledges that he was successful in turning Iraq around from a failed state to a stable state. I hope he will listen to the commanders and Secretary Gates and get our troops out in a way that we leave behind in Iraq that's aligned with us in the greater war on terror. History will judge us not on the day we all left, but by what we left behind. And I think Bob Gates understands that better than anybody I've met. So I want to applaud President-elect Obama for these picks. These are good people, but it's one thing to pick them, it's another thing to listen to them. I think he's going to do both. At least I hope he will.
And Senator McCaskill, I mean, I guess the question a lot of people are going to be asking now is Bob Gates going to be listening to President Obama, or is President Obama going to be listening to Bob Gates?
Well, I think obviously Barack Obama is going to set the policy. But clearly he's going to listen to different views. If you look at whether it's his economic team or whether it's the conversations we've had about the potential national security team, we're talking about a variety of opinions. We're talking about different kinds of backgrounds, different kinds of political alliances. This is someone who really does lead by listening to different points of view and finding the best course forward. He is not afraid to be challenged by people around him. He wants to be challenged, and that's how he finds his way to the strongest policy for the Americans. And I think that his listening ability is shown by the way he is picking his cabinet, and I think America should be very proud of that.
Senators